Hey guys, OG Albino here, bringing you guys my UPO Wi-Fi Season 2 Round 1 match of playoffs versus my good buddy Odds, or Odds Are, and his Memphis Bewears. Odds is a really good buddy of mine. He's doing phenomenally. He took over for Steven about mid-season, but he actually played really well and did really well this season. Was able to secure a pretty high playoff spot, I believe above us even. If I remember, he was either one above us or one below us. We were the 4 and 5 seeds, if I remember correctly. But yeah, he's playing phenomenally this season. He's a really good buddy of mine. Be sure to go check him out. I'll definitely link him down in the description below. But yeah, this is a doozy of a match, so I do want to, just get right into the team matchup and, a quick little rundown of what I'm bringing. I'm not going to go super in-depth of the EVs or anything like that, but if you are interested, I'll leave a pokey paste in the description below with all the sets in particular and stuff like that. So yeah, with that being said, our team, if you did forget, consists of Mega Lucario, Garchomp, Rotom Wash, Rabombi, Roserade, Spiritomb, Steelix, Victini, Reuniclus, Tyrantrum, Braviary, and Kangaskhan. While our opponent's team consists of Yveltal, Kartana, Zeraora, Slowking, Florges, Noivern, Piloswine, Mega Kangaskhan, Nidoqueen, Buzzwole, Mimikyu, Macargo. So if you do remember, if you've watched our UPO run thus far, we played this team pretty early on in the season. I believe it was week 4. We went into it with a 3-0 record, and we played against Steven, and he ended up beating us. I believe it was like 3-0 or something like that, on the back of some pretty bad hacks, but this is also a very tough matchup for us, in all honesty. Yveltal, 2 KOs everything on my roster. Last time Steven brought Scarf, I can definitely see that again here against Odds. I could also see Mixed Life Orb. I could see a lot of things coming, and regardless, it's going to do a lot of work. I don't really have too much for it. Zeraora is a problem if we do let Steelix get chipped, but Kartana is really scary as well. We don't have a great resist to that mon, but other than that, I think we should be good. We're bringing a very similar team to last time. We just switched up some things for optimization and stuff like that. But yeah, let's jump into it. Our Steelix, we're rocking out with a Rocky Helmet, Stealth Rocks, Dual Stabs, and Toxic. It's pretty mixed defensive, but it's mainly going to be our Zera check, our Mega Kang check, trying to get Rocky Helmet chip off on those guys. And then next up we have our Victini. We're rocking out with a physical set, 4 attacks just with a Colbur Berry, which is obviously really nice for the Yveltal. If we can get a big V-Create off on that, we'll definitely take it. I believe we are V-Create, U-Turn, Bolt Strike, and Zen Headbutt, which is obviously pretty good coverage for my opponent's team. He doesn't really appreciate it switching into it very much. Then next up we have a mixed Mega Lucario with Meteor Mash, Bullet Punch, Vacuum Wave, and Psychic. So we're rocking with dual priority, both from the physical and special side. Psychic is very nice for the Buzzwole. I almost went Hidden Power Flying instead, but I figured Psychic was a better just neutral move to hit everything, and Hidden Power Flying was doing just a tiny bit more than Psychic was. Anyways, Vacuum Wave is for that cart. It's for the, what do you call it, potential like the Mega Kangaskhan if it's super low and for some reason it's boosted up in speed. Actually, I don't think it gets agility, but yeah, it's mostly for the cart and maybe like the Zeraora or something like that. Next up we have a Stealth Rock 3 attacks regular Garchomp. I miss Mega Garchomp though, man. Earthquake, Stone Edge, Fire Blast, Toxic with the Rocky MZ. Last game we were Fire MZ, but I figured that Fire Blast 2-hit KO'd a max HP Buzzwole regardless, so we might as well go with the Rock MZ to guarantee a nuke on the Yveltal, because obviously that's really nice to have. It always goes that thing, at least after rocks, depending on his spread. Then next up we have a Wiki Berry, Dual Stabs, Toxic. So it's Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Hydro Pump, Toxic. Rotom right here with the Wiki Berry, like I said. Last game we were dual screens. I didn't really think that option was great because we don't have too much setup on this team anyways. It was more sort of buffer the Yveltal from running training us, but I thought the Wiki Berry and the momentum and stuff like that would be a little bit nicer on this build. But yeah, and then lastly we have the same exact Reuniclus set as last time. It puts in a ton of work versus my opponent. We are Trick Room, Psychic, Thunder, and Recover with the Life Orb. We are an OTR set, but we still do have that recovery. We can still check, be like soft checks to some of the physical threats on his team. But yeah, with that being said, the 6 that Odds elected to bring, looks like he went with the Zeraora, Mega Kangaskhan, Kartana, Yveltal, the Buzzwole, and the Slowking. I think the only change from the same team that Steven brought last time, like Pokemon-wise, was that Mega Kangaskhan came over the Noivern, which is nice because I don't have much to switch in Noivern other than our Rotom, and we are more of a defensive Rotom, so obviously that is pretty nice to have. Or we're not a defensive Rotom, we're really speedy. We're like max HP, a lot of speed, and a tiny bit of special attack, so we're not like the bulkiest Rotom in the world. We're more so a fast pivot. But I am going to elect to lead off with my Steelix. I want to get at my rocks, and it led well versus a lot of mons on his team. He ends up leading off with the Zeraora, which is best case scenario, because in my head, I'm thinking I can just get at my rocks, as he actually throws it on the table and goes for a close combat, revealing that that's a 2-hit KO. And he is most definitely Life Orb, because there's no way that did that much damage. And this is unfortunate because now I'm going to lose my Steelix. I am going to get at my rocks, which is nice, but he can still potentially defog those away with the Kartana or the Yveltal. I don't think either really want to run that move in this matchup, but they could. But, you know, odds of really making a ballsy play turn 1 is going to pay off for him. I wish I would have just Earthquaked, because I could have got my rocks up on something else later in the game. But, oh well, at least we did get something out of those few turns. We got a lot of chip on the Zera, brought it down to below 50% with Life Orb plus Rocking Helmet. And then I'm going to bring in my Victini. I know I can take any one hit from this thing, and I am bluffing Scarf pretty hard here. But again, odds is thinking, hey, I might as well just let this thing go down. Which, honestly, I'm pretty okay with, being how big of a threat this thing really was versus my team. So we're going to see the pretty cool, what do you call it? Plasma Fist animation go off as I go for a U-turn, and I'm going to be able to knock that thing out. It was at -2 defense, and it took even more Life Orb chip. There's no way that wasn't taking it down. So down goes the Zeraora, which is nice speed control for my team. Now Mega Lucario outspeeds everything other than Scarfers, which is really, really nice for our end game. But yeah, next up, he's going to go into Buzzwole. Oh, and I messed up on my Lucario. I am Crunch over Bullet Punch. I am not Bullet Punch. I'm just Vacuum Wave. Oops. But yeah, he's going to go out and do his Buzzwole, and expecting him to maybe be Scarf or something like that. I'm going to switch out just in case. Sack my Victini, hopefully, just to see kind of what he wants to go for, as he does go for a Superpower, which is good information to have. And that is his stab to hit us with, but he is no investment based on that that damage that he did to us. And I'm just going to go for a V-Create, try and get a big hit off, but he reveals the Akka Berry, which is very, very cool prep on Odd's part, making sure he can always eat one hit from Martini, unless we were, I guess, you know, special and we hit it with like a Psychic, like a Life Orb boosted Psychic, it would probably drop. But he is going to be able to eat that V-Create because of how physically bulky the Buzzwole is, and he's going to be able to pick off our Victini. But again, this is fine. This lets me confirm that he is not Choice Scarf like Steven was in the first game, which is very, very nice to know. Now he is in guaranteed range of my Lucario. I don't have to worry about him, you know, Scarf Drain Punching or Superpowering me to oblivion. And down goes Victini, which is pretty fine. It still, you know, put a big chunk of my opponent's team. Out comes Lucario. I figure this is a good opportunity to get my Mega off and throw off a big hit. He doesn't really have much that wants to pivot into this Mon. It's really risky for him. I almost wanted to click the Crunch here, expecting the Slowking to come in, because I figured the special coverage was pretty obvious right here, but I am just going to go straight for the Psychic, be able to pick off this Buzzwole, so that's another kill for big Mega Lucario. Down goes Buzzwole, which is great, because I didn't really have great ways of switching into that Mon at this point, even though it was defensive and very weakened. It still was a pretty big threat versus my team. So he's going to go out into Slowking, and right here, I'm not going to want to stay in. He could be Colbert, and he can eat a Crunch from full regardless. So I'm going to go out into my Rotom, kind of see what he wants to go for, as he ends up going for the Scald, which is completely fine. We will eat this up pretty easily. Take a tiny bit of chip, and he will stack the burn. Now, this sucks, but at the same time, it doesn't. If he was like a bulky Wish Kang with Toxic, then this is better, honestly, being, what do you call it? Being burned opposed to Toxic. As right here, he is going to go out into the Kangaskhan. I'm going to go for the Volt Switch. I'm going to go right into my Mega Lucario. Now, he doesn't know that I don't have a fighting move on my Mega Lucario. It would be great in this situation to have a fighting move, but I do not have one other than Vacuum Wave. So I can't really actually Oko a bulky Kang. So right here, what I'm going to do is switch out. Expecting him to want to scout for the fighting move, but I suppose he just wanted to stay in. I'm going to go out into my Rotom because it covered both the Earthquake play from this Kangaskhan, and it also covered the double into, the switch into Slowking. So we're going to be able to make a nice little middle ground play here to see exactly what he wants to go for. And he does actually end up going for the Earthquake, but we are going to obviously avoid that because we're floating in the air and all that good stuff. So it's good to know for me that he's willing to stay in, but it also kind of sucks because Now he knows that I probably don't have a way of OHKOing this Kangaskhan from this range, because I do expect a bulkier Kang in this matchup. I don't think a full-on offensive one really makes too much sense, as he does reveal the Wish, pretty much confirming that fact. But I did get a Toxic off on him, which is going to wear him down over time, which is obviously really, really nice. And me being burned opposed to Toxic is going to essentially maybe let me 1v1 this thing if he wants to stay in the whole time. And right here, he is going to switch out into the Kartana, which is very, very terrifying. I have nothing to switch into this mon at all on my team left, as I'm going to go straight for a Thunderbolt, and I wish I went for the Volt Switch there so I get some momentum, but he's going to take a big chunk from the Thunderbolt, but get right back up to full due to the Wish from the Kangaskhan. And he probably knows at this point I don't have, you know, any... I don't have Will-O-Wisp on this thing because I revealed Toxic, but he's just going to go straight for a Leaf Blade. I could not let him set up. I went for a Volt Switch right there just to get a slow Volt Switch off potentially into my Mega Lucario, but he is going to take out my Rotom right here, which is unfortunate, but it does give me that free switch in Lucario, like I said, and I can just click Vacuum Wave. He is going to actually elect to stay in. I figured he might want to Scout for and go into Slowking, but I could not mess around with this thing. It did a ton of damage to me, but he is going to elect to stay in and let me take the cart. So that's obviously really, really great for us. He's going to go out into Slowking right here. This is fine. He's going to take a little bit of Rocks chip. And I'm going to save Lucario because if I can chip this Slowking, then it can potentially just kind of win here. That's obviously something I want to keep in mind. I'm going to go into Reuniclus. I figure this is my best opportunity to get it in and do a lot of damage to my opponent, as he's going to do -2 damage with that Psychic right there. And this turn, I'm just going to throw off a raw Thunder, trying to get off as much damage on his team as possible. The Kangaskhan, I can set up a Trick Room on. The Slowking, I get a big Thunder off on. And the Yveltal, I also get a big Thunder off on if he elects to stay in. But you're going to see me go first there, and that's because he actually ended up clicking Dragon Tail to phase us out. This is fine, though, because he phased us out into a mon that is actually really good for us to go into. And we go into our Garchomp. And this turn, I believe I just clicked the Earthquake. It nets me a kill at this point. If he wants to go into Yveltal and take the Rock Chip, that's fine. I'm out of range of any Yveltal hit from full. So I am just going to go for an Earthquake. And in comes the Kangaskhan as he elects to sack that guy off. It's not going to die to the Earthquake, but I believe it goes down to the Toxic the next turn, the next play right here. So yeah, down goes the Kang. Garchomp picking up a kill, which obviously really nice, and we are still at full, so we can pretty much net another kill right here. Now he goes into Slowking right here, and this is kind of a big point in contention for me, because I was looking at the calcs, and if he was physically defensive Slowking, which I expect him to potentially be with like a Colbur Berry or an Assault Vest or something like that, he lived in Earthquake from this range. However, Rocky MZ had a very, very, very good chance of knocking him out. However, that means I could not save my Rocky MZ for the Yveltal on the back. And that mon, despite me being up pretty hefty right now, you know, I would be at 3-1 if that thing came out after I killed the Slowking. It could still win the game if it was Scarf. If it got subsequent, you know, the right amount of flinches and stuff like that. So, I am actually going to elect to pop my Rocky MZ this turn, just because as long as I do not get flinched by the Yveltal, you know, just a million times both on Garchomp and on Mega Lucario, what I can do is I can throw off a Toxic and guarantee put him in range of a Meteor Mash after the Toxic chip from Garchomp and Reuniclus. So I am going to sack off my Reuniclus the next turn to the Yveltal regardless. But Toxic is going to be able to hit the Yveltal on switch in, and if I'm faster, then I know I can hit him with the Stone Edge the next turn, which is obviously really nice. So down goes the Slowking to the Rocky MZ. Obviously that's great, but I don't want to risk the Stone Edge miss right here, because he's actually out of range of a Meteor Mash from our Mega Lucario. So he's going to go for the Dark Pulse, reveal 2B Scarf. Very fair in this game. I do, however, not get flinched this time with Garchomp like we did in the first game. We're going to get off a big Toxic on this thing, and 2 Toxic turns should definitely put this thing in range of my Mega Lucario. Now all we need to do is not get flinched twice, and we have to hit our Meteor Mash. That's obviously the, you know, biggest catch here, as he's going to be able to go for a second Dark Pulse, knock out Garchomp, but it put in a ton of work. Probably its best game of the season. Thinking about giving him the thumbnail this week, just because of how well it did here. But I am going to go into Reuniclus. Now this thing's kind of counterintuitive, but this is playoffs. I do not care about differential at all. What I want to do is get another turn of Toxic Chip on this. And if he wants to go for Oblivion Wing, I live, and I'm going to go for a Trick Room, and then click Thunder. But he does elect to go for the Dark Pulse. Obviously, he can't click Oblivion Wing because he's Scarf. But down goes Reuniclus. But now this thing is most definitely in range of my Lucario, and if I miss the first Meteor Mash, he's in range of Vacuum Wave after. So he is going to go for the Dark Pulse, and you're going to see he is not going to flinch us, but that is a 2-hit KO because of how ridiculously strong this mon is. but we miss our Meteor Mash. Now, this is what makes me really good that I still have that extra Mon to stack in the back to, you know, get an extra turn to Toxic Chip, because it's actually going to put him just in range of Vacuum Wave. We're going to be able to knock out the Yveltal and take a very, very narrow 1-0 victory over odds here. GG to my buddy. This was a great game. We played it in call. It was a bunch of fun. Really, really, really tight game. I'm really impressed in how he played this season. I believe he, like, you know, we lost to It's or Ant in week something. I don't know. He smashed us, and odds actually 6-0'd him. He played really well. He beat a lot of really, really good coaches, so you should definitely be proud of his run. Be sure to go check him out in the description below. But yeah, with that being said, we are moving on to semifinals, where we have to play our good buddy Silver Smasher again, and we're gonna have to pull out some prep again for Mega Salamence. And I definitely brought my best team versus him week 2 when we played him and won, so it's going to be very, very tough to, you know, potentially try and find a build in which we can catch him off guard enough to pull out the matchup again. But hopefully we can. I'm pretty confident in the fact that we can. We've played Silver many times, and he is an amazing player, but I know for a fact that we can beat him, provided we play and prep correctly. So I am really, really excited for him. It's really going to be, you know, a test of our skill and stuff like that. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy the video, be sure to like, subscribe, all that stuff, if you want to catch our videos as they go up every week. And yeah, with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. Later.